So one of my favorite things about doing this channel is that it makes me buy new and awesome shirts just for clout and whatnot. This is my favorite shirt ever. Just let your soul glow. It's good times, man. Speaking of glowing and showing, Kirk Jerome Ezekiel Cousins, the Revenge Tour, Angry Kirk, could and should be back in 2022 because Kirk, he hears all the disrespect, and he's talked about that during the offseason where whether it's fans, the media, sometimes his own coaches and teammates, they're throwing him under the bus, blah, 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 blah. But the Vikings hitched their wagon to Kirk Cousins. Kwesi Adofo-Mensah and Kevin O'Connell's like, hey, you're going to be our guy. Our jobs, our asses are on the line. This is your team now. Kirk Cousins, go out and get it done. And Kirk apparently met with some of the team leaders this offseason and made quite an impression. This is from our guys heavy on Vikings via Ben Leber. Kirk blew everyone away. On the Unrestricted with Ben Leber podcast, Leber shared inside information on a team meeting with Cousins that called where he discussed the team's disappointing 2021 season. Cousins was prepared with notes he took throughout the final year of the Zimmer era. Ooh, he was taking notes like Phil Jackson writing a book, man, which left those in the meeting impressed by the thoughtfulness, thoroughness, and thought Cousins has put into his desire to win in 2022. So he took him to Flavortown. No word on who was in the meeting, but here's what Leber said. Let me just say this. This has been Leber talking. To everyone who says he's not a leader, Kirk Cousins, I will agree with you for the most part up until this point. I do think he lacks some of the intangibles most people are looking for at that position. Basically, I don't know, Kirk's kind of awkward, but that's okay. But there was a situation that happened this offseason that I'm privy to the information that has galvanized that locker room towards Kirk in ways the public does not know. There was a meeting, all of the biggest names on the team at this meeting, and Kirk blew everyone away. Maybe it was at Dave & Buster's. Maybe Kirk was just shooting hoops. I don't know. Actually, I bet you Kirk is good at whack-a-mole. Or I don't think they have this at Dave & Buster's, but where they put you in like a turbine with dollar bills, I bet you he gets all of them. Anyway, and how he handled it with things that were said, the things that were said in the group, because it wasn't just played. There were other people within the organization there. Apparently, a couple of guys walked out of the meeting and said, Kirk's our dog. Kirk's our freaking dog. Yeah, no, frickin'. Let's clean up the language here, man. Apparently, Kirk came in very prepared for this type of meeting. Apparently, he had been taking notes all season long and laid it out. I guess the guys were like, damn, I wish I was your luck. This is a guy where we can ride with that's going to have our backs all times. Kirk's been listening, and Kirk's been writing stuff down, and Kirk has the team's back. And of course, Leber, former player, works with the game day media stuff. So Leber is very dialed in there, and this is a good sign. Like if this went down like this, I'm glad that it happened because Kirk probably called this meeting, and if all the key luminaries and team leaders were there and they got the sort of exit interview on 2021 and an exit interview on the Zimmer and Spielman regime, and going forward, I do like this. You like that? I do like this a lot. Where it's kind of awkward. Where in 2018, when the Vikings signed up Kirk Cousins, 3 years, $84 million, fully guaranteed, that team 2017 had just gone to the NFC title game, so he was supposed to be the guy that took the Vikings to the Super Bowl. But you had a team of established veterans, and now he's like the new kid in school. And at the quarterback position, you're supposed to be a leader. It was kind of awkward. Like Kirk can't come in and just impose his will, even though I don't think that he's that type of leader as it is. But then eventually over the years, as there's been turnover on the roster, and now as there's turnover at the head coaching position as well as at the GM spot, now this is Kirk's team. It is, Kwesi and Kevin O'Connell, they put their money where their mouth is and said, hey, this is going to be our guy. We made a commitment to Kirk Cousins. We extended him, and you are that dude. So now, Kirk, I love that he's taken this next step because this is his team. Like, if the Vikings are going to do something, win, lose, or draw, it's going to be Kirk Cousins at the forefront. So I like that he did this because I think Kirk does have the reputation for being aloof, being whatever, just sort of an empty suit at times. But now, if he's actually going to take the reins and have some chutzpah, and you like that, you're just taking over the team. I do like that. And remember, we hammered Kirk early on during his Vikings tenure when he was the problem. But last year, Kirk certainly was not the issue with the Vikings. Plus, remember, everything that's going on behind the scenes that's coming out now, Kirk had a head coach who clearly did not see eye to him, clearly did not believe in him. Kirk Cousins' ass Thank you. And he had also 4 different coordinators in 4 years: JDF, Stefanski, Kubiak 1, and Kubiak 2. And he was still a top 10-ish type quarterback. Still got Justin Jefferson 3K yards in his first 2 seasons. And also, this is all in a run-first offense, by the way. Plus, one of the more ludicrously bad interior offensive lines in NFL history in terms of pass blocking. So now the Vikings fix the interior offensive line in terms of pass blocking. And if the Vikings can get in a groove with Kevin O'Connell as the head coach as well as play caller, just imagine what Kirk Cousins can freaking do. I think that Kirk certainly could ascend the heights. I think that you can win a Super Bowl with Kirk Cousins. And Kwesi and Kevin O'Connell believe the same thing. And like we said before, this is them putting their jobs on the line, because NFL, not for long. And guess what? If this thing goes, utters up, they may not get another bite of that apple. Kwesi may never have another GM job. O'Connell may never have another head coaching opportunity. He's like, oh, yeah, he's just Sean McVay's caddy. Yeah, that's what Kevin O'Connell is. So they went all in on Kirk Cousins, and I think the team is buying in on Kirk. And the Vikings, I mean, we're starting to feel good. Because even though Kirk, it's always about the money, and also he got extended, I do believe that this offense with Kevin O'Connell, and if they can suture up the interior offensive line, Kirk Cousins can be that dude, man. Kirk Cousins can be that dude. I think that he can ascend. I think that he can become a top 6-ish quarterback, which you can win a Super Bowl with. I think that he can be a top 3 quarterback in the NFC, mainly because all the good quarterbacks are in the AFC now. So, I don't know. This may just be off-season purple glasses, purple Kool-Aid, all that stuff, but I believe, man. I do believe, and it sounds like the teammates are starting to believe and buy into the hype as well. But your thoughts are our thoughts. Kirk Cousins, impressed in an off-season meeting. I bet you he had a PowerPoint. Kirk strikes me as a PowerPoint guy. But let's know your thoughts on our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But until next time, Skol, production value.